Hey everyone, Rogue Leader here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at 15 LEGO Star Wars Battle Pack ideas I have. Now, some of these you've probably seen before, some of them you might not have, although, some of them are sets that many people want, and some of them are obscure ones that you've never heard anyone ask for. But these are all, LEGO Star Wars sets, Battle Packs from animation, movies, TV, video games, whatever. And so yeah, we got 15 ideas. They fall into three different categories, being the random, the Empire, and the Republic. And so those are the three categories we'll be taking a look at today. Real quick before we get started, if there's a character or a trooper, whatever, that you think needs a battle pack, wait till my next video. I am going to be doing a part two where we'll be talking about mega battle packs like the File First battle pack and battle packs that I think need to be made in that style. But so yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so first up, we're going to take a look at the random category. So we got four battle packs in this category, and the first one is one that probably no one's ever asked for, and that's a Gungan battle pack. Gungans are really cool alien, and they're from one of the coolest battles in the prequels, excluding, of course, any battles in the Clone Wars, because those are really cool. But yeah, I think that this should just come with a creature, one of those creatures that they ride with, one of those like carts they carry on their back with all the blue energy balls, and then the minifigures should just be four Gungans with their energy shields and their like staffs, weapons, whatever. And of course, based off the Phantom Menace, that battle on the fields of Naboo. Our next set is the First Order Battle Pack. I know a lot of people don't really like the sequels. I think the First Order was pretty cool. Maybe not handled in the best way, but definitely had cool designs. I think just a random speeder or walker, whatever they choose, would be fine. But as for the bill or the minifigures, excuse me, I think two regular First Order Stormtroopers, a First Order Flame Trooper, and then my personal favorite First Order Trooper, the First Order Jetpack Trooper that we see in the Rise of Skywalker. I think that selection would be great. Flame troopers are a great thing to army build. Stormtroopers, who doesn't want stormtroopers? And then the jetpack trooper, we've never gotten in a small set. We only got it in one $40 set, and it would be great to be able to amass an army. I know there were only a couple in the movie, but it'd still be really cool. Next up, we got the Separatist Droid Special Forces Battle Pack, and this one would be, just kind of think of it as a remake from the original Droid Battle Pack we got way back in like 2007, I believe, with like some sort of troop carrier for the droids, and then also maybe a STAP, and then also maybe a droid speeder, one of those blue ones we saw in like the Phase 2 Captain Rex set, something like that. A combination of some of those builds, and then the minifigures, two super battle droids, one regular battle droid, and either a commando droid or a battle droid commander. I think that we definitely need two super battle droids because we don't have any of those on the market, and we haven't had any of those on the market for a long time. Battle droids, definitely get one of those so you can army build, but we've also gotten them in tons of sets like the Republic Fighter Tank, the ATT, and we get them in almost every year's advent calendar. So yeah, they're pretty cheap and affordable, and you probably have quite a few of them if you've been collecting Lego for some time. But yeah, and then the last set in the random category is probably one that a lot of people want. It is a Rebel Fleet Trooper Battle Pack. So these are the Rebel Fleet Troopers with the blue shirts and the black vests and the weird white helmets from the beginning of A New Hope and the end of Rogue One. And, I think that would be great. A remake of that original set that came out many years ago would be amazing, like an updated speeder, like they did for the 20th anniversary, and they remade the Imperial battle pack that went along with that Rebel battle pack. I think remaking that would be great. Of course, I would not want these four rebels to have the same head because then it would just look like they're like clones or something. Give them all a unique head. That way you don't have, 20 of an identical looking rebel when they should all be looking different. But yeah, let's get into the Imperial category. All right, so now moving on to our Imperial category, we have 5 sets for this, and I think all of these would make great battle packs. So let's start it off with the Andor Troopers battle pack. Now this is based off of the finale of Andor, where the Empire is trying to stop the citizens from fighting back against the Empire's oppression on Ferrix, And I think that it should come with the heavy mobile speeder that you see in the show. It's like a speeder. It's got a turret and I think it's like some sort of transport maybe. I'll throw a picture up, but yeah, I definitely think that would be cool because it's a physical thing. I know a lot of times they like choose to just make up random battle pack builds, but that's something that was actually in the show, so it'd be great to get. And then as for the minifigures, I think a officer in all black, we see quite a few of those in that episode. So just an officer in all black, and then two of those riot troopers with the riot gear and also the riot shields, and then one stormtrooper because you do see a few of those throughout the battle. Now, I did put this on the lower end of the list. I personally really want this, but I did put it on the lower list because given everything that's happened with protests in the last couple years, I don't think Lego would want to make a battle pack about this, but who knows? Personally, I think that the real world shouldn't affect what toys they make for a fantasy show, but they're a business; they can make their own choices. But all right, next up, number 2, we got the Remnant Troopers Battle Pack. This is based off both Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 3. So as for the build, I don't really care, just some random speeder or walker or whatever. But the actual minifigures that most people care about, I think it should be 2 of those Beskar Imperial Commandos that you see in the last couple episodes of Mandalorian Season 3. That'd be really cool to get. Also a Praetorian Guard from that same episode. Pretty cool. It's got that kind of armor that's, similar to the Mandalorians, similar to the Praetorian Guards from the sequels, but also similar to the Royal Guards. It's kind of like all 3 of those combined into one really cool character. So that'd be cool. And then for this last minifigure, it could go one of 2 ways. The first one would be if you want to keep all the minifigures from the same scene. If you look closely, a few of those Imperial Commandos, the Beskar Commandos, whatever you want to call them, they do have some red markings, and those are supposed to signify, I assume, commanders or squad leaders or like higher ranking commandos. So you could throw one of those in. Or what I personally want is from the end of season 1 of The Mandalorian, a Imperial Incinerator Trooper with the red markings. But yeah. Next up for the Empire is based off Jedi Fallen Order, and that's the Purge Trooper Battle Pack. I would love this so much. And all right, the build, don't really care. 4 minifigures, 2 Purge Troopers, a Purge Trooper Commander. I think one of them, at least one of them, has to come with like those electro staffs that we see them use. Just like each one give them like a different weapon because they do use a ton of different weapons when you're fighting them in Fallen Order. And then the 4th minifigure be one of those heavy scout troopers with the electro staffs that you see in the game, and you have to fight them a ton. So those 4 would be great. Of course, most of the Purge troopers do have waist capes. Gotta bring waist capes back. Come on, Lego, it's time. Give us Purge troopers with waist capes. That'd be amazing. But yeah, our next battle pack for the Empire is going to be the new Empire battle pack. So, we just looked at battle pack from the end of the Empire's reign. Now we're going to be looking at one from the beginning of the Empire's reign. This is based off Bad Batch Season 1. 4 minifigures. Again, the build, don't really care. I don't really care what the builds are for a lot of these. If I have an idea, I'll throw it out there, but a lot of them I really don't care. For the 4 minifigures, I think 2 TK troopers from the end of season 1, and then also they showed up a bunch in season 2, would be really cool. And then a clone commando would be amazing. Again, we see quite a few of those. Now, whether it's just a plain white one or it has the gray marking, the Imperial gray markings on it, I don't really care. I'd prefer a plain white one because then I could, build some cool Clone Wars mocks with them. But yeah. And then as for the last minifigure, I think an elite assassin trooper, shadow trooper, I don't know what they're called, but basically those gray and green troopers that are like pre-death troopers that Crosshair is leading in the first season. I think having a few of those would be amazing. And so, throwing one of those in the battle pack. And then our last one is my personally what I want the absolute most, and that is the Rogue One battle pack. This would be so amazing. I'd buy probably at least 20 of these. Again, build, don't really care. The minifigures, 2 stormtroopers, a death trooper, and then a shore trooper from the Battle of Scarif. Again, I think that'd be amazing. Death Trooper we only got in like 3 sets, being the shuttle, the battle pack, and the advent calendar, and then the Shore Trooper we got in I think 2 sets and maybe a polybag. But I would want just the regular Shore Trooper without any of the extra blue or red markings, just the regular one that we got in the Battle of Scarif set. And then the Stormtroopers, just regular Stormtroopers that we've been getting, same ones that came in the mech earlier this year. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that is all for the Empire. Now let's get into what most of you have been waiting for, and that is the Republic, the clones. All right, so this first clone set would usually probably be my #1 most wanted battle pack, but it is a plain Phase 2 Clone Trooper battle pack with 3 Clone Troopers and a Clone Gunner. But it is so low on this list because we do have rumors that next year we will be in a set with them. So I really don't think that we're going to get a set like that anytime soon. $20, 3 of those Phase 2 clones and a Clone Gunner, but that would be amazing. So yeah, I'm just throwing that out there that is one of my ideas, but since that we have a rumor of those figures coming next year in a different set, that rumor this battle pack will probably not happen in the next like decade. But next up is our first idea that could happen. I guess all of these could happen. This one's definitely very unlikely, but a Geonosis Troopers battle pack from the second Battle of Geonosis with 2 Geonosian ARF Troopers, a Geonosian Flame Trooper, with of course all 3 of those having the dark orange camo, and then a Geonosian Special Ops Trooper that you see Commander Jet leading with Ki-Adi-Mundi in the caves. That'd be also cool. Recreate the scene where they're burning the Geonosians. For the build, I don't really have any ideas besides in this for the landing at Point Rain, you see them holding or not holding, I guess, but using blaster cannons like the E-Web, but like a different variant, I suppose, like the Republic variant. You see them using that quite a few times, so throw one of those in there because we've never gotten a Republic E-Web, which I believe is a different design than the ones we get that the Empire has. So yeah. Next up, we have the plain Phase 1 Clone Troopers from earlier in the Clone Wars and then also Attack of the Clones. And 4 minifigures, I think, 2 regular Clone Troopers, a Clone Captain, so the one in red that we got in the 2013 gunship. I think, we have the Clone Commander, time to get the Clone Captain. And then for the last minifigure, it could either be another Clone Officer like a Sergeant or a Lieutenant, or I'd prefer it to be maybe an ARF Trooper. If we got a Geonosis Trooper battle pack, we'd have that ARF Trooper mold back for the helmet. We could just throw it on a regular ARF Trooper. That'd be great. Or a Phase 1 Bomb Squad Trooper. Also cool. Miss those guys, and that'd be a great updated minifigure. Next up, we got the Clone Wars Battle Pack. Now, this is including 4 minifigures from the Clone Wars, and all of them are unique. They're all Clone Troopers, of course. So let's get started with the Wolfpack Clone Trooper. Of course, got to get the wolf pack in here somewhere, and I don't really think it needs its own battle pack, but definitely a way to army build those figures. A 442nd Siege Trooper. These are the ones that are like the 212 Troopers, except instead of orange, it's green. They came out in a few sets back in 2005, and haven't really been seen in Star Wars, but they definitely exist, and that would be definitely a cool minifigure to have. The next one is what I'm calling the Anaxes Trooper. I don't know if it actually has a name, but in the final episode of the Bad Batch arc of the Clone Wars in Season 7, when Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi retake the refinery, there are these maroon troopers. They have maroon paint jobs, and they're only ever seen in that episode. I believe it's part of Mace Windu's unit, which I believe is the 91st, if I'm not mistaken. It might be the 187th, but anyways, those I just call them, most people just call them Anaxes Troopers, which is pretty much what they are. Only appeared on Anaxes, but yeah, one Anaxes Trooper. And then the last minifigure is a clone pilot, regular clone pilot, Phase 2, with the not the ones from Episode 3, but the ones from the later half of the Clone Wars. And then, of course, make sure to have those yellow markings. I don't want this clone pilot to be associated with any Legion or Company, so don't give it like blue or gray markings for the 501st or the Wolfpack. Just make it a regular one, so it could go in, any of your gunships or any other sets that might need a pilot. And of course, you can army build them because, most, like for example, the new Coruscant Guard gunship, you don't get a single pilot. This would be a great way to be able to get some pilots and put in there. We have just two more battle packs. This next one relates directly to the battle pack we just took a look at, which was the Clone Wars random battle pack. This one I think would be a Revenge of the Sith random battle pack. So similar concept, four unique clone troopers, but instead of having those clones be from the Clone Wars, having them being from Revenge of the Sith. If you think about the original clone battle pack, how I think that those builds would be fine, like a little turret and then a speeder bike would be great. For the minifigures, a 91st Recon Trooper. We see a few of those in Revenge of the Sith. 327 Trooper. Definitely need those guys. They're very cool. A Shock Trooper, with the Coruscant gunship, people are going to want to army build their Shock Troopers, excuse me. And then, of course, the last one, a minifigure people have been asking for since the beginning of time, a Galactic Marine. But yeah, so that's for the Revenge of the Sith. And then the last one is a battle pack that, a lot of people were getting hyped for, really wanted because of the ATT 212 Trooper battle pack. I think that, of course, it's got to come with a Crab Droid. And then the minifigures, 212 Troopers with no helmet holes and correct prints. And then an Airborne Trooper, excuse me, Airborne Trooper without a printed waist cape. It's got to have a physical one. Physical waist cape would be amazing. And, but yeah. So those are my ideas. So all 15 of them, 6 Republic, 5 Imperial, and 4 random. I definitely think my 3 most wanted battle packs. Let's say that this rumor of the Phase 2 Troopers battle pack coming out is true. So I definitely wouldn't want another one set to army build those Phase 2 plain clone troopers. So I think my top 3 most wanted sets would have to be that Rogue One Empire battle pack with the Shore Trooper, the Death Trooper, and the Storm Troopers. The Rebel Fleet Troopers, Yavin 4, we got Yavin 4. 2019, we did get a Tantive 4, so, can we get some troopers to, like, make it feel more alive? So, definitely Rebel Fleet Troopers. And then probably one of my most wanted is either the 212th or the Revenge of the Sith Clone Trooper Battle Pack. Again, I think if any of these sets came out, I'd definitely be buying at least 10. For most of the clone ones, I'd probably be buying 20, 30. If it was a plain Phase 2 clone battle pack, probably end up buying 50 of those. But yeah. Anyways, those are just my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Again, I will have a second part going over Mega Battle Packs coming out eventually, hopefully soon. And if you like, just, comment, subscribe, whatever. And I will see you guys in next time. Bye.